Namaskara. Today we're going to do Sonnet 146 by William Shakespeare called Poor Soul, the Center of My Sinful Earth. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಸಾನೆಟ್ 146. ಅದರ ಟೈಟಲ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಪೋರ್ ಸೋಲ್, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಆತ್ಮವೇ, ನೀನು ನನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ದೇಹ ಮಣ್ಣು ಪಾಪದ ಕುಡಿ ಈ ಪಾಪದ ಕುಡಿಗೆ ನೀನೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ. ಪೋರ್ ಸೋಲ್, ದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಸಿನ್ಫುಲ್ ಅರ್ತ್. So what does the poet say in this sonnet? Poor soul, the center of my sinful earth, these rebel powers that thee array. So the body surrounds the soul, and the sinful earth that is mentioned in the poem is the body. Earth means mud. We all return to mud. And while we are on this earth, we commit so many sins. And what is the center of our body? It is the soul, right? And the soul would like to be pure, the soul would like to be uncorrupted, and the soul would like to be heavenly. It's a heavenly object within us. It is the center of our sinful earth or sinful body. And the body has rebel powers that array the soul. Array means they decorate. Rebel powers. What are the rebel powers that the body has? First, it has hunger, then it has greed, then it has anger, then it has lust, then it has jealousy, hatred. So many rebel powers that motivate, that animate the body, that make the body live, but they corrupt the soul's purity. Why dost thou pine within and suffer death? So the poet asks the soul, why it pines? Pines means korgodu. Yake korgatiya olagade and suffer death, and you don't get enough. There is actually a way of feeding the soul, that is through our thoughts, through our good actions. But hardly anyone ever chooses the good over the desirable. So they all go behind desire, and they all go behind power. There hardly anyone goes behind good. But what good we do, that is what feeds the soul. So without any food, without any proper nourishment, the soul pines, korgata, and it suffers death. It has a lot of wants, right? Painting the outward wall so costly. And you, soul, who are the center of the body, how do you paint the body? You paint it with silk, satin, brocade. You paint it with all sorts of material goods. And all these goods are so costly, and they make the body happy. They give pleasure to the onlooker, they give pleasure to the wearer, they give pleasure to the possessor, right? And the outward walls, that is the body of the soul, is painted so costly gay. Why so large cost, having so short a lease? And to get these costly material possessions, right? And the person has to try almost throughout his life to just, outwardly paint his body. You have possessions like clothes, you have things like food, and you have things like shelters, houses, palatial mansions, right? And so to get all these things, it is a large cost. You have to pay a high price for it, right? Why so large cost? Asks the poet, right? Having so short a lease. If you live for 60 years or 70 years and you get all these things, 70 years is hardly any. It's a very small period of time compared, for example, with the age of the earth. Age of the earth is so many billions of years. And compared to, astronomical time spans, so the time a person lives is very short. Having so short a lease, right? On earth, the body just lives for at most 100, a few more, right? So it can live a very short time, so short a lease of time, and to get so many things in this comparatively small period. Why? Why? That's what the poet asked. Dost thou upon thy fading mansion spend? So why do you, soul, he asks the soul, why do you spend on your fading mansion? It's outward walls. No, mansion is a house, palatial house. The body, just to spend so, why do you spend so much on the fading mansion? As we grow older, the strength fades, the beauty fades, the vigor fades, and it goes down in all these. So why do you spend so much time on just the outward things? Shall worms, inheritors of this excess, eat up thy charge? So, inheritors of this excess, whatever the body earns, right? Who shall inherit it? It shall be the worms in the ground. When the person is buried and the worms eat him up, so that is the worms will inherit this excess. So, is this thy body's end? So, is that, is this the real end of the body? So why do you spend so much time? Then soul, live upon thy servant's loss, and let that pine to aggravate thy store. So they say that the soul and the body, they are in opposition. Whenever the body is, is really tried and ascetic practices, tapas, meditation, fasting, all these things. When the body is tried in ascetic practices, then the soul will flourish. Then so live upon thy servant's loss. The body is supposed to be the servant of the soul. So let the body be tried. Let that pine to aggravate the store. That is the nourish. Let it nourish the ascetic practices. Let it nourish the soul by terms divine in selling hours of dross. So the soul will eventually return to God. So if the soul is enriched throughout life, when it eventually reaches heaven, right? What will happen? It will become divine. Okay? So it will become a divine soul once it reaches the feet of God. By terms divine in selling hours of dross. So you will actually live forever in heaven if the person undergoes these ascetic practices which are well known in all religions, right? Meditation, fasting, continence, all these things. So if the body is tried in ascetic practices, then the soul will go to heaven and live an everlastingly blissful life. It will have an everlastingly blissful existence. Huh? Within be fed, without be rich no more. So to feed the soul, you have to give up all the material goods, right? Renunciation. Okay? So the poet asks the soul to feed this, to feed it. It is within. So let us feed the soul, he says, and without, outside, let us be rich no more. Let us not have more and more costlier food, more and more costlier dresses, more and more costlier houses, more and more entertainment. So shall thou feed on death that feeds on men. So if the person who does all this, who feeds the soul, his soul will feed on death, right? And death feeds on men. Okay? The body will die, but the soul will live. Death once dead, there's no more dying then. Once the once the thing of death is dead, once the soul lives forever, there's no more dying. But while we try to get so many costly things, we die moment by moment through so many efforts. Thank you.